What's going on, guys? Welcome to the Final Fantasy Brave Exorcist review video. And we've got 4 units here, all Dragon Quest, of course. That's why you're here, for Dragon Quest. So the Slime became New Vision Awakening, but let's see how well they did. SLB unit, of course, because what would a Slime turn into? I don't know. And giant mod boost for so many things. And that so many things is only one thing, and that's his Team R ability. And for some reason, I'm not really sure why they focused on this, but yeah, his Team R ability is the focus of basically his whole kit. So 970 times to, I don't know if this is going to be right. It's one of these two things, either 970 times or 1,000 times, because a lot of things add up to 970, but he also has a 30 times mod boost for all abilities besides the Limit Burst, which I'm not sure if that counts for a TMR ability, because technically it's not really part of his kit, but I think it might count. So I'm just gonna go with that just to be safe, just to cover me. So 200% magic TDH, 500% chain cap, so 6 times with lightning's STMR or indestructible light. And the Super Limit Burst is a 230 times mod 1 hit. And this is the special part, like I mentioned, 400 times mod boost for his TMR move. So I don't know what to say. Like, you can't expect much. You couldn't expect, you weren't, guys, I hope you guys weren't expecting much from a Slime. Because if you were, you would be disappointed. He just doesn't seem like anything you would ever use. Like in a serious setting, maybe you'd use it for fun, like for kicks, but he takes a long time to get going, the SLB, so you basically would have to do an EX 3 out of 3. You'd be EX 3 out of 3ing a Slime for his SLB to get that going, and just constantly using his one hit magic TMR ability or whatever it is. So there's not much to go on with him, so yeah, I don't know how to even rate this. Like 7.5 at least, because at least he has a huge modifier, but it's just kind of awkward to get to that point. Like, it's just, you have to kind of go out of your way to do it. So 7.5 for a Slime. Can't expect much for something that's a 3-star and that's free. Dragonlord is here as a New Vision Awakening, and I sure called it with this one. I sure called it, guys. You can go back and check my news video, and I knew this was going to happen, and I was right. So in his base form, 200% magic TDH, 5 times or 500% cap. You guys know what that means by now, because I just explained it. 200% stone and 150% demon killer. Quad cast permanently. He has that magic stacking boost thing that a lot of other units have, like Medina and Mellow, for example, and stuff like that. So his is 960 times max. I'm not sure if he would ever do that. It's very slow. He does have quad cast, so you could continuously use it, but it's be kind of slow. I don't know. We'll have to see. And there's not much else notable in his normal form, so we're talking about his Brave Shift form now, quad cast. I just wanted to mention that because not a lot of units have quad cast permanently, like Brave Shift last well version, so he finally has someone to chain with, which is interesting. I like that. And in his Brave Shift form, he has Fire CWA and also Bolting Strike that for some reason removes Mirage. Now I'm assuming this is some kind of like lore based ability, because that's such a specific thing that I've never seen before. Something that actually removes Mirage. It just basically gets rid of it, which is interesting. And it also gives him 200% accuracy buff. I don't really know what the point of this is, but it's an interesting move. I just wanted to put that in there. And he also has that stacking magic thing. Again, I just want to mention that, guys. 300% magic TDH in his Brave Shift form, the 500% cap, 150% Limit Burst damage buff, or not buff, but ability, like passive, sorry. 500 flat magic, and his Brave Shift Limit Burst is a 32 hit fire magic 150 times, one time, so basically use it once and it'll be 180 times max with 135% fire and peril. So yeah, I basically called it a base form. I knew it was going to be bad. It's pretty bad. It's not the worst, but it's pretty, actually it's pretty bad. He doesn't really do anything in his base form that's notable. He can do things in his base form, but it's just like, it's not really notable, right? So, and his Brave Shift Olympus has unique hits that probably only work with a dupe because it's 32 hits. So unless there's something, if you guys can find something in the comment section that has 32 hits and it'll work with him, then otherwise he works with a dupe, and it's kind of awkward because once they both shift back to normal form, I don't know what they're going to be doing. He really doesn't have much in his base form, and it's kind of bad. His base Olympus is just bad. They didn't even bother changing it. It's just like 10 times mod, so it's bad. So you have a little short bit of burst damage. You're gonna be doing a lot of damage in his Brave Shift form, and then when you shift back, you're kind of stuck. So hopefully you can get it done in a few turns because he doesn't have infinite turns. Hope you guys figured that out. Anyways, I'm gonna be going for 8.5 because his Brave Shift form is very strong. I just don't know what his Olympus chains with. And he doesn't really do much else. But he can chain with Last Wall, Brave Shift form Last Wall. That's what I'm always looking for, stuff like that. I'm always looking for something like that. So he can literally keep up with Last Wall for those few turns that he can be in his Brave Shift form. Maybe someday there'll be a permanent, you know, full infinite turns Brave Shift form type unit that can have quad cast and can chain with Neovision Last Wall. That's what I'm looking for. Anyways, moving on. We have Zoma here, who his STMR is really unoriginal. It's basically Sora's and Hawkeye's STMR, except it's magic instead of attack this time. So extremely unoriginal, and also you want to have his TMR equipped because it gives him a whole lot of bonuses, including flat magic and LB fill max, which is really interesting. So this unit does not have any EX buffs, like EX 2 or 3 buffs, which is interesting because the next thing we're going to be talking about does have them for some reason, but this guy doesn't. So I was really impressed with this guy, and when we're talking about why, his grandest ability is the typical 300% magic buff, 200% lower burst damage, 300% or 30% ice amp for himself, 60 LB fill, so it's pretty standard. Quad cast on both forms, and bolting strike and CDBA chaining. His mods are extremely different in his Brave Shift form compared to his normal form. It's like the normal form is kind of like a much weaker version of the Brave Shift form, and he has a move to increase his mods besides Olympus by 40 times, so definitely would want to do that for 4 turns. In his Brave Shift form, he has 400% magic TDH, which is insane because now he doesn't have to worry about TDH at all. He also has 500% magic cap, chain cap, so you just equip Lightning's STMR on that. So that's one slot you have to use, but instead of having to worry about, you know, equipping TDH and also Lightning's STMR, all you have to do is now do Lightning's STMR in your set on that part. 150% Olympus damage passive, 200% Dragon, and also 150% Fairy Killer. 200%, I just want to mention this, 200% HP passive, which is pretty crazy, and 1,000 flat magic passive. 60% all elemental resist, and in his Brave Shift Olympus, it's magic 1 hit, 160 times, 2 times, 60 times, 280 times max mod. Not really sure if that's worth it. Maybe if you really want to do that, but I think that he's better as a chainer, personally. I feel like he's better as a chainer because of that 40 times mod boost to all of his abilities. I feel like he's a better chainer than finisher, but you guys be the judge of that. What's is better, because his chaining mods. Remember, guys, you can quadcast this. It's like 150 times, something like that, for a CW8 ice chain. Wow, it's early in the morning, guys. Apologize. No infinite turns, obviously, because that'd be too good. He would be way too good if he had infinite turns. Like, it'd be insane. His base form, you got, like I said, basically much weaker, and also he has very heavy MP costs. Now, I was actually quite impressed with him, but he has no status immunity, so you basically are using 2 slots anyways for status immunity, and Lightning's STMR. So even though he has 400% magic TH, you still need to equip status immunity if a boss has that, because he has none. He has literally none. But 60% all elemental resistance is interesting, I guess. I think he's quite impressive. I'm gonna go ahead and give him a 9 out of 10. But I think that his one-hit magic finishing is just like, there's so many finishers out there now. I know there's not very many magic ones, but like, it's just, I feel like his chaining is better. I feel like he's better as a chainer, but let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. And finally, we're gonna go over King Leo and Elena. And the STMR is interesting. I'll say that. I'll just say it's interesting. SLB unit, win tag chain, 72 times to start. 72 times mod to start. We'll talk about why I put to start. 420, 400, 240. Wow, 240 times mod cooldown ability, bolting strike, and his grandest the 300% attack buff, 150% lone burst damage buff, 30% amp for himself, 6 times cap or 600% cap, 200% demon killer, pretty good, 150% beast killer, good, because that's quite a bit and it's kind of hard to gear that sometimes. 200% lone burst damage passive, so he's kind of already wants to have that all covered. If you have his STMR and something else, you'll already have 300%, pretty good. His base lone burst is 120% wind and peril and 150%. 150 times wind tag chain, which is already not too bad, but it gets even better with the SLB 130% wind and peril, 250 times tag chain, which is the highest in the game in terms of tag chain, of course, and 100 times mod for all abilities besides the lone burst. So now it becomes 172 times mod tag chain in there without the lone burst. Just the normal tag chain is 172 times, so strong, very strong. You can triple cast that, so pretty strong. Not much else to say about him. He only has 100, or them, sorry, 100 times, only 100% true to wield, so very similar to the Elric brothers where they only had 100%. And no wind and imbue for the CD chain, but I don't think you would even really use it because like it's just a normal, I think it's just normal element. So kind of mediocre, but maybe if you wind imbue him. But they're all the problem with that is all their other abilities are wind imbue or wind chaining, and they don't really do much besides the wind tag chain. They have some weird abilities like a critical hit but has like a 10% chance to miss or something. It's ridiculous. I didn't even want to mention that ridiculous stuff, so I didn't even mention any of their garbage moves. I just mentioned the good stuff. So in terms of being a tag chainer, of course I think they're the strongest tag chainer in the game, but they're locked to wind is the caveat here. They're locked to wind and nothing else. So if you don't need wind, they won't be too helpful to you. That's about it. I think I'm gonna go ahead and give them, I want to give them a 9. They're kind of restrictive. They require basically you to go to EX 3 out of 3 so that you get those buffs that they get, because they do have 2 and 3 buffs. And on top of that, their SLB would be less, because you would want to use that very often. You would want to use this a lot, because even though it doesn't, you already have the 100 times mod, it's still 250 times tag chain with 130% wind and peril, which is crazy. So I'm 8.5 to 9-ish. I can't really decide. This one's kind of too hard to decide because on one hand they're the strongest tag chainer in the game now, but for wind only. So I guess Bart's could help with that. Yeah, so I think that's about it, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. I know this video is kind of long, but I appreciate you if you watched all the way through or just watched at least a portion of it. I appreciate you. Make sure you leave a like button. If I earn your subscription today, please click that subscribe button, even though I messed up a lot. Apologize for that. I reviewed everything within the hour, so I kind of was scrambling around. Not really scrambling around, but kind of just, getting things ready for you guys. And so, yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope that this was informative. If it was not, Let me know in the comment section down below how I can improve my reviews, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.